I mean, he could swap back to Okay, well, that's fine too. I was gonna say he can swap back to Arlecchino if he wants. Yeah, Cloon's not actually the best choice for this, simply because, especially we have two healers, like she really needs more of a shielder than a healer if she heals herself, because she needs the bond of life on her. So getting healed will remove her bond of life, which kind of interrupts how her combo works. It's definitely one that you play better when you're by yourself, because you can manage your bond of life better. So you don't accidentally heal yourself when you need to keep your bond of life. But, better safe than sorry. It's not like she's absolutely terrible at it, too. realistically, we could have Bennett turn back to Raiden, and that would be fine. Oh, I see. Wait a minute. Ami is. Wait, are we going in? Or is he keeping us? No, we're going in. Why? Didn't we have 4 people? Why are you going in when we don't need to go in? This is gonna not be good. Because Gaming is a 4-star, and you. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. It was a guy. The guy fucking went in even though he was missing one of the fucking 4 people. Because he was an idiot. Because typically if that happens, you're like, oh, whoops, because the problem is you get some people who are like, oh, cool, we have a 4th person. We have a 4th person. Cool, I'll immediately send the request. But it's like completely forgetting, or just is stupid, because he's, again, being stupid, not waiting for the 4th person to come out. Look, the 4th person's... Bennett is still in there, because they haven't left. But you can even see, like, you can even see the, okay, there we go, finally. Now, obviously, he should have swapped. Kinich should swap. You're a bad combo with the rest of us. You should swap. Stop being the character you want to be, and be a team player. You know? With Raiden, sure. Raiden's fine. A Raiden Kinich combo is good. But when you have someone, I mean, to be fair, you could say, well, there's Navia as well. Navia's not the best. Yes. You can see Navia's not even doing anything because they're just like, yeah. Did they finally move? Yeah, they finally moved. Like, their connection is that bad. You can see they have a red bar. So, you know, they have a red bar, so it's not the best. So, but yeah, like he obviously chose wrong. Like this is a shit fight. Oh no, we can go in. Okay, I thought they changed the fight because last week we were able to actually beat him before he even sucked us in. So I was like, oh, they changed the mechanics maybe. But no, the mechanics still exist. So it was just a dumb team. Okay, now that we're in the little bubble, now that we're in Bennett's healing level, I can... Oh shit. Damn it. I thought I did my... Did I miss my... Oh, whatever, let's go back into healing, just in case. Okay, there we go. I guess I must have missed it. Like, I thought I did my charge attack, but I must have missed it. Because the charge, like, especially Farina's charge attack is super, icky. Yeah, I mean, the reason why we're sucking is because Kinich sucks. Kinich is a really shitty choice. Because, like, burning doesn't really do that much damage. So, if he had decided to be not Bennett and instead was Raiden, we would be in a much better situation. The fact that they swapped off of... Fuck. The fact that they swapped off of Raiden fucked us over. We would have cleared it if they had been Raiden. Because I can still heal. So because they chose to do that, we ended up wasting a lot of extra time, which is unfortunate. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's twofold. Bennett and Kinich are a shitty combination. You know, Furina can make anyone good, so that's fine. But Bennett and Kinich are absolute shit together. And Bennett and Kinich and everyone else in the party is also shit. God, we have to go back in again because Kinich is such a piece of shit. See, this is why I complain and saying, yeah, this is why you should be, you know, be good party members. You wanna know why? Because this happens. This is a literal waste of time. Not only did he waste our time by accepting us and going in before the fourth person had a chance to join, but now, because he insists on being who he is, we are now fucking having to go 2 rounds of this. That is 100% avoidable. You know? Oh, God damn it. It's 100% avoidable. Like, we don't have to fight him a second time. In fact, fighting him a second time is absolutely crazy. I can't even remember the last time I've actually had to fight him a second time. There's times where it's like, oh, you know, whoops, Navia left. Or did he DC'd? I'm not sure. But, yeah. I forget when they left. I think they were there after our second round, but yeah. But that's the sucky thing, is you just get people like this who are just like, I'm stupid. I want to play this character. I don't care about everyone else. I don't care about party synergy. Like, and as I said before, like, Kinich would have been fine if Bennett had stayed Raiden. If Bennett had been like, oh, no. Oh, okay, we have a Furina. Okay, then I don't need to be Bennett. I'll be Raiden instead. If that had happened, and we had Raiden, Kinich, Navia, and Furina, that would have been perfectly fine. Perfectly acceptable. But that fucking Bennett was like, no, I'm just going to be Bennett. Why? Well, because we need a healer. Great, awesome. Thank you for picking the shittiest fucking healer. Like, you do realize we have 2 DPS. Kinich does not work with Bennett. You want to know why Kinich doesn't work with Bennett? It's because Bennett has a field on the ground that gives an attack bonus, and Kinich is constantly moving as part of his kit. Navi is the only one who can actually get a benefit from that, because she can at least stay inside the field while she does her skill. But generally, yeah, he's a shit healer. You should be anybody else but Bennett if you want to be a healer. And the fact is that Bennett just does not synergize with Dendro. So you just wasted our time. That took like 3 times longer than... 3 or 4 times longer. Like the 4 times, the 3 or 4, like, it was like 2 to 3 times longer. But the 3 to 4 was because the guy with only 3 players decided, oh, let's just go in anyway. It's like, dude, no. Like, when you see that the last player hasn't joined, you fucking get out. I didn't realize he'd be that fucking stupid. But no, he was like, no, let's go in. It's like, dude, the 4th player even complained and said, hey, what about me? Can you send an invite? Yeah, because you get these fucking morons who are just like, oh, look, it said the player joined the world. Look, their character model appeared in my world. Oh, then they're here. It's like, no, they aren't. They aren't. Until you see their little minion appear, and I would say, until you see the character themselves move, I would not do anything. I mean, obviously, this guy, I know Ash is so he disappeared, right? Now, you do not see his minion. Now, he might not have a minion summon, sure. Like, we have a little minion summon. But, okay, now he moved. But, yeah, he doesn't necessarily have to have a minion, but that is one of the things that you can, wait, you want to be Venti? Okay, here we go, Tina. And I will be... Yeah, I was thinking about going, Raiden. But Raiden, Arlecchino is not the best combo. Alright, let's do this shit. And let's seal us back again. Now, I can't hear him. So that's the kind of thing. Riding X is kind of useful simply because of getting Arlecchino's burst back more frequently. Because that matters a lot, but... Smack it. She needs to do a burst. You will continue losing health. Yeah, there you go. Do your burst, dude. There you go. Get my burst back there. Can I do this? Can't hear. And fuck it, let's heal that top that one off, and we go back to DPS mode. But yeah, like, so this is at least a decent combo. Like, the guy wants to be Sethos, but guess what? Sethos works in this party comp. So, like, that's fine. You want to be Sethos? That's fine. Like, it's fine to be Sethos. But, like, I would say, if you're a Sethos in a bad party comp, don't be Sethos, right? Don't be Sethos. Oh, there we go, we beat it. Nice. Yeah, like, because, like, I've had people be Sethos, and, like, in a bad party comp, where you're like, no, like, I don't want to be I don't have a 4-star in my party. Oh, nice, I got a billet. I need more spears than anything, but I'd always appreciate getting any. But yeah, like, that is the problem. You just get these people who are just like, oh, I'm going to be this because I want this. And it's like, it's fine if it works, right? Oh, whoops, I didn't get... I forgot. I thought I disbanded. I left. Whoops. The second thing is, it kicks me out to where I entered the world. So even though I teleported over here, it still kicked me out and brought me back over there. But yeah, like, it's fine to be a 4-star, but, like, don't be a 4, like, especially, it's fine to be a 4-star, especially if, and it's more fine if you're, like, a support, but, like, you really gotta check out party comps, right? Like, the reason why Bennett was bad in that situation is because there was Kinich. Like, if they didn't want to be Kinich and wanted to be Arlecchino as DPS in the last against the whale, that would have been fine, right? 2 Pyro would have gotten a resonance, would have gotten the resonance. Pyro would have gotten the resonance. That would have been fine. But no, it's Kinich, which means you would like something that could react and do a damaging reaction. Because, like, burning doesn't really do a damaging reaction. Burning does... Is it me? Am I the leader? It's my world? Oh, no, I am player 1. Okay, shit. Burning doesn't require a reaction. Yeah, that's fine. And so, like, yeah, Sethos is fine in this situation. I would say no Navia. You should swap back. Yeah. Really, dude? Really? New Valette would be perfect. You want to know why Navia sucks in this situation? It's because Wanderer swirls. So, great. Navia relies on crystallized reactions to do most of her damage. And we have an Animo, which is she can't crystallize Animo. So, coupled with Sethos, it's like, it's not the worst necessarily, but it might not be good. It might be fine, depends. If they're really stacked, like obviously those 2 are DPS, so that's fine. Being DPS is fine. If they're good DPS, then fuck it. It doesn't seem like they're great though, because the fact is we're still fighting. What? You're fucking a DPS. Why are you getting crystals? Do damage, you fucking DPS. That is your fucking job. Be out there doing damage. Like, knocking him down like this doesn't like, it's not like we knock him down, he takes more damage all of a sudden. It's like, no, we knock him down, he's just knocked down. He just doesn't do damage, that's it. So as a DPS, your job should be doing damage. Because you need to burst his face, you need to burst him down. Oh, actually, I think we might be fucked now that I think about it. We don't have a, we don't have a, healer back on. Yeah, the problem is we don't have a, oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, the only person who can react, I think, react with the constructs, I think is Wanderer. I'm not sure if Geo can do it too. We'll see. She can, but not really well. So it's going to be relying on the Wanderer to do all that shit. It's fine. It seems like Navia can, but the problem with Navia is her skill. Her skill can't do it that well. So her skill only does a little bit of damage, and we need her to do lots of damage. Okay, there we go. Let's get my DPS out. My DPS minions out. And yeah, like she's saving her burst for now. She seems like she fell off the edge. But yeah, I mean that was just generally better, right? Like, and that's just how it is. Pick a party member that works well with the team, and the fights are so much easier. And so that's why it sucks when you get people who just like either don't understand the game or are just being selfish. Who are like, no, I want to play this character. Like, and it's like, fine, you want to play that character? Then try every time. Sure, I don't fault the dude for trying. You know, I don't fault the dude for being like, well, I want to be this character, so I'm going to queue up as this character. No, the second you see the party stacked against you, the second you see that the party isn't really suited for what you're trying to do, that's when you stop. That's when you're like, okay, we have a Bennett, we have a Navia, we have a Fiorina, you know, Dendro cores don't really do much damage. Burning reactions don't really do much damage. As Kinich, this is a bad choice for me. I should not be this. Now, I think burning is okay, I think, for Kinich. Possibly. I don't know. I know burning is for Emily. I forget if Kinich gets any sort of bonuses for that type of shit. But generally, it's the kind of thing where it's like, no, you don't. Just, you know, stop being a dick and just fucking pick a character that synergizes well with the team, please. Like, it's fine if you want to try, but then the second you see, oh, okay, well, everyone else has chosen other party members that just don't really synergize well with me, that's the point where you gotta be like, okay, I guess I gotta pick another class, pick another character. Because, like, please don't, like, you're playing co-op, so please don't let your selfish desires, you know, take over everything, right? This isn't about you, this is about picking team members that work well together. And can do the fight. Because, like, not only did he jump the gun, and jumping the gun is like, okay, whatever, it happens, right? You can jump the gun. But, like, I do think it's incredibly stupid because it's like, if you ever do co-op at all, this is something you come across all the time. Like, if you ever do co-op at all, it happens all the time. Where a player comes in, and you can't, like, immediately go. Because, yeah, sure, it says they load into the game, but, like, their load times are variable, right? SSDs obviously help. If you have an SSD or a PS5, you know, you'll zip in super quick. But, you know, if you don't, if you're running Genshin on an HDD or a PS4, or your network connection is bad, you're just gonna have a shit time, and it's just not gonna work that well. And you know, you just got to be like, oh, okay, I got to wait. Right? So typically what I do is I wait until I see them move. Or start doing an idle stance. Because essentially they don't really T-pose, but they do stay in like a neutral stance. And if they have a little summonable entity like that little guy, those don't appear until they're like loaded. So like what it does is it loads their character in, but because they haven't actually like connected with it, they haven't bothered loading all this shit. So the second you start seeing the character, even if they don't move, if they start doing an idle pose, that means that they've actually loaded and connected. And you can probably queue up at that point and be fine. And this is something you would know if you do co-op. Like, it's very obvious. I get this? Wait, what do I need to be? 60%? I need it to be... Oh, I see. 40, 60, 80. Got it. Oh, I see. It's 400 total. 40, 60, 80, and then the quest. Got it. So, yeah. So it is kind of a little frustrating when you get these characters and people who are just, like, dumb. Because, like, he has to be dumb. Because, one, he doesn't know how co-op works. I mean, he doesn't know how co-op works in two ways. One, he doesn't know how co-op works because he immediately tried to queue up. And this happens. And it's not like he's unusual. Like, it happens every now and then. You get people who are like, cool, the fourth person. Like, it just told me the fourth person is trying to load into my realm. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to go queue up immediately. It's like, dude, they haven't even loaded. You give them 10 to 15 seconds, dude. Because you can go in, right? You can go in and queue, and it'll still send the request to the guy who hasn't loaded in, but they won't do anything. They just won't load in. They won't respond. Oh, hey. And then you've now wasted time because you and the other two people are in the queue waiting for this dude. The other dude's outside saying, hey, when are they going to let me in? Or where the fuck is everybody? And then you have to leave. So if you had just like waited, you could have queued up quicker. And then of course you get this guy who was so fucking dumb, didn't realize that that the fourth person wasn't even in, and went into the fucking zone. And so it's just like, Jesus Christ, dude. And then was so adamant about picking, and you could argue, well, yeah, but the reason why if Bennett had stayed as Raiden, or if Navia had picked someone else, yeah, it would have been better. So it's not on him for doing this, for choosing the wrong character, but yeah, true. But we don't know, like, Navia came in as Navia and stayed as Navia, so we don't know if that person had another option. Similarly, we don't know if Kinich had another option too, but regardless, it's like, at that point, 3 members don't gel well with you, you should be the one who swaps. And if other people swap, fine, But if they're not, then you should swap. Just stop trying to force your way on the party, because forcing your way made that 30-second fight take like 3 minutes. Or maybe 2 minutes, I'm not sure. Because and it didn't help that Navia disappeared. Now, I don't know if Navia disappeared because the connection was shitty. Like, they had a red bar of connection, so maybe they DC'd, or maybe they just saw how slow things were going, so they're like, fuck this. I was actually even tempted to do that too. I'm like, holy shit, you guys suck. Your DPS is absolutely terrible. And it's because Kinich just doesn't react with us. Like, you need characters that actually do damaging reactions with Kinich, none of which do. Dendrocore don't do shit with Furina. And I could have been Raiden, but we didn't have a healer. I mean, we have Bennett, but Bennett's a piece of shit. Bennett's a crap healer because Bennett's a crap healer because you don't get healed unless your health is below 70%. Or 85%, I forget. There's a threshold, essentially. Is that once you only start getting heals when you're below a threshold. Which sucks. I want you to top me off at all times, so you suck. So yeah. Not great. Obviously not a great way to start a week. Retrospectively, maybe I should stop doing weekly bosses as the first thing I do on Monday. Because, it it kind of ruins the mood if you get people who are just selfish. But I mean, I say that, but like, obviously Arlecchino, we fucking crushed Arlecchino. Like, pretty much, that was the only bad fight. We did 4 fights, only one of them was actually bad. It was that one. The guy who wanted to be Kinich, wasn't a team player, was just kind of a dick about it. You know? But all 3 other ones, perfectly fine. You know? We did well against, Wanderer, we did well against the OPEP, and we absolutely destroyed Arlecchino. So, we 3 for 4 is pretty good. And realistically, that's kind of what you expect. You do your weekly bosses, you're probably going to get 1 or 2 people who are just going to be kind of dicks. Now, sometimes it doesn't matter. Like, again, like, Kinich wouldn't have been bad if we had people who could have helped him, right? If the Bennett guy was like, no, actually, I prefer using Raiden. Because, like, everyone has their own preferred character. Like, I usually use Raiden, Fiorina a lot when I'm going into these things because they're really good support. So I'll be Raiden or Fiorina a lot. And so they're kind of my go-to. But I'll switch between one or the other to help. And Jillian now too. I use Jillian a lot because she's just really, really good. She's a really good healer and res reducer. So the 3 of them are pretty much my go-tos. They're really my go-to supports. If I'll check out the party comp, I'll be like, okay, what would be the better advantage, right? So because that guy was Kinich, I can't use Jillian because Dendro doesn't react to Jillian. So it's either between Fiorina or Raiden. So I could have been Raiden, and that would have synergized more with Kinich. And realistically, it would have synergized with Navia as well, because I'm still doing a lot of shit. The problem is that Fiorina gives the damage buff, as well as apply Hydro, and we had a Bennett. And she heals. And Bennett sucks. Like, if he had not done Bennett and been an actual proper healer, someone who could actually heal, someone I could be like, oh, okay, we have a healer, we have a Kokomi, we have a Barbara, we have anybody else who can actually heal us to 100%. Because Bennett doesn't heal us to 100%. You have to be below 70 or 85%, and you have to be inside his little fucking burst window. So he has to do his burst, stamp the ground, and you have to be on that stamp to get healing. So he's a shit healer because it requires everyone to stop what they're doing when they need healing and get to where he did that. And that's only if he has his burst up at all times. So if he's not built well to keep his burst up, keep it 100% uptime on his burst, you just will not be. So he's a shit healer. Like Barbara, her skill and burst heals. Kokomi, her skill and her burst heals. Kuki, technically her skill only heals, but her skill has 100% uptime, and I believe it applies to the entire party. In co-op, when the skill applies to herself, I think it applies to the entire party. So it's just kind of like Fiorina's. Like, I don't think Fiorina needs her little minion to be next to you, her healing minion to be next to you for you to heal. I think it has a pretty broad radius where it'll heal. So there's a pretty broad radius of where it'll heal. So so yeah, like who the other healers? Chi-Chi, I think her skill heals the entire party. And the interesting thing about Chi-Chi is that despite how kind of shit she is overall, is that I think she will create a tag on the enemy when doing normal attacks, and if you attack the tagged enemy, you get heals. Now she's a little more finicky because that will happen on cooldown. It has a cooldown for that natural effect, and then also her burst will force a tag on all enemies. But you still have to attack, so you have to make sure you're constantly attacking. So it's not passive heal; you can't do it off. So she's not amazing, but she's still better than Bennett, because I think doing her burst will also heal you a little bit. I forget. I'd have to double check her kit. Now Bennett, obviously the reason why people use Bennett because he has the added bonus of the damage bonus. But again, the damage bonus only applies when you're standing, when his burst is up, and you're standing on that field. which relies on him being really good at placement and keeping energy up so he has his burst up all the time, which like he just wasn't. And even still, it's not great. There's a lot of caveats to it. So generally, it's like, yeah, it's not an amazing thing. Not great for co-op. It's great for yourself. He's a much better solo member than a co-op. Simply because when you're solo, you build around Bennett, right? You use Bennett, and you're used to it, right? You're like, oh, okay, I use Bennett. So you get used to playing the game inside Bennett's burst bubble. You know, you get used to playing the game and positioning it. So it's like, oh, cool, I'm gonna use his burst here, and then I'm gonna stay within his burst for the entire duration. But if people are not used to Bennett, they're not waiting. They don't, and especially when we aren't Bennett, we don't know when you're going to use your burst and where, so we can't plan that shit. So it's just not a great co-op party member. It's kind of like Arlecchino too. Arlecchino is not really great in co-op, simply because you have to be a lot more careful. She doesn't get any heals at all from anybody, so you have to really manage your own health. And unlike if you're solo, you can just swap Arlecchino off. Oh, she's low in health, swap to another party member, get some energy back, quickly swap back to Arlecchino, do her burst real quick to get her health back. Right? You could just do that. You could bring her on the field only when her burst is up, so that you can quickly swap on, do her burst, and get your health back. You know, but she could be off field when she's dangerously low to keep her alive. In co-op, you can't because you're always on the field. So that's why Arlecchino is riskier because of that. So okay. So yeah, that's why she's riskier. She's not bad. She's really strong. It just requires you to be a lot more careful. A lot more careful than you would have to be solo. So it just essentially means that the skill ceiling is raised to do it well in co-op. Which is fine for the most part, but like, you know, some people aren't skilled, so there's a lot of things like that. Like, Kinich is not bad in co-op. The problem is, you know, like this is a game about elemental party composition. So he's fine, but he just was so insistent on being Kinich in a party that did not really help him. He's just doing a shitload of Dendro damage, no reactions whatsoever. His Dendro doesn't fucking help any of his party members, you know. We can't crystallize with Dendro. Actually, no, we can't crystallize Dendro. I don't think we can. So he doesn't help Navia. Getting a burning reaction doesn't really matter because burning does so little damage against bosses. It's negligible. Its only real utility is just to keep a constant fire aura on the enemy, so you can melt with it. So its utility has that, but we had no one to melt. I mean, I had vaporized technically. My Furinas could have vaporized those burnings, sure, right? But like Furina is not really built for damage, you know. So sure, he'll improve her damage, but she's not stacked for damage. For mine, at least. Well, I don't know. Actually, I forget. Anyway, yeah. So like, it's stuff like that. And I get it, right? You want to be your favorite character. I got it. But like, there's a time and a place for everything. And if you see that your party comp is just not working with the character you want to be, then please just swap your character. Please, like, just don't be selfish. Swap your character. Try Kinich on the next fight. Right? It's just that simple. Okay. It's not working out for this one, try it for the next one, right? There's lots of fights where it'll be fine. Like, you want to be Kinich against Raiden? Perfectly fine. You want to be Kinich against... Well, I mean, perfectly fine, assuming, obviously, again, party comp. Kinich is all about party comp. He's not one of those ones who just, like, works with everything. Like, Neuvillette is kind of one of those ones who kind of works with everybody. Like, Hydro has good reactions regardless. So, like, no matter who your party comp is, having a Neuvillette is good. The problem is Dendro just doesn't react with certain elements. Dendro doesn't react with Geo. Dendro doesn't react with Animo. Dendro doesn't react with Cryo. You know? So since you're Dendro, there are only 6 other elements, and 3 of them you don't react with. And this is a game about elemental reactions. So that's why Dendro is shit in co-op. Because not half the party members, like not half the members, but half the elements don't react with you and don't provide any usefulness. So you're far more reliant on party comp, whereas for water reacts with everything. Now, like, water's not an amazing reaction with Dendro, but still, it does react with it. So, yeah. So if you're going to be a Dendro, if you're going to be a Geo, if you're going to be an Animo, please pay attention to what your party members are. Like, against a Wanderer, like, the fact that you wanted to be Wanderer, like, okay. But then, when we had, I think they swapped with Navia. Like, Navia wanted to be in, like, sure, like, Navia is fine. I'm Fiorina, so I do enough Hydro application, sure. Sethos does his Electro. So both of us should be able to provide enough elemental reactions for you to crystallize a lot. But the problem is that Animo does not crystallize. So it's just like, yeah, Animo. So Wanderer and Navia didn't work well together. But both of them work well with the rest of us. So it's like, you know, you could kind of make it work. So, and that's why it did work. You know, even though of the 4 party members, 2 of them didn't work well with them, both of those 2 worked well with the rest of the other 2. Whereas Kinech didn't work well with anybody. All 3 members, he just did not work well with any of us. So, yeah. Basically, it's just a long rant that boils down to this one argument of read the room. Read the room. If you see that your favorite character is not gelling well with the party members, swap. That's why it's good to have a few, right? I don't force, like I have, you know, Raiden, Fiorina, and Shilinen as my, you know, favorite supports. As DPS, I don't go DPS as frequently. I usually do more support because there are less people who want to be support. People are just so obsessed with being DPS. So I'll usually go support just to help people out. But I think for DPS, I kind of go randomly. I think I've been a Navia. I think I've gone Navia. I've gone Chlorinde. I've gone. What other DPS have I used? Have I used Eula? I might have done Eula. Probably not, though, because she's not really great with it. Like, I like Eula. I just don't use her in these things. It just don't work well. But yeah, like the times I actually am a frontline DPS character, and, you know, I'm a main DPS, it's pretty rare because I'm usually trying to be more supportive because there will be those selfish people who just want to be like, oh, I want to be this character and fuck everybody else. It's just like, great, awesome. But anyway, rant over. Let's get on with the interlude. Oh, hello there. How's it going?
アトコと一緒に育った竜の名前だ。アトコは小さい頃溺れたことが水中深くまで潜って、アトコの背中を押しながら陸地に戻ったんだ。気を失うまでな。
そうなのか。じゃあ。
いや、残念だけど、あの子はもういない。4年前のアビスの襲撃で負傷した戦士を乗せて前線。これといった特徴はなかったかな。少し待った。もしかして。
I'm doing well. Just ranting a little bit because we had a selfish person in co-op who just did not want to swap their character to better suit the team and instead kept their character that didn't really work well with the party, ended up making the fight take 3 times longer than it needed to.
その顔、何か思いついたみたいだな。じゃあ。
But yeah, that's all done. And that was only like one relatively not amazing experience of the 4 I did. So 75% success rate. But still, I gave a little rant, kind of gave my opinion about it, and yeah, it's just what happens. I mean, it's co-op, so like that's what happens. You wish people weren't selfish. You wish people could kind of read the room and be like, hey, okay, I want to be this character, but it's not really working out for the rest of the party, so I'll swap to a better character that synergizes better. But yeah, oh, thank you. And, maybe he'll learn a lesson. I doubt it. But, like, there are selfish people in the world. What are you gonna do, right? Like, I'm not gonna solve that. I can't solve that. So it just is what it is. And now on to the Interlude
気に
quest
しないでくれ。
that was released in 5.2. I've been mostly focusing on playing Final Fantasy 14 because I'm getting really close to getting my hunt now. But I play and other games. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta accept it. Like, it is what it is. You can't solve this shit. You can hope that they change, but like, you're just not given an opportunity to kind of explain to the dude, hey, not be selfish. Fuck. I guess I would say Final Fantasy 14 is my favorite. It's the one I play the most. And I would say it's like, I don't know, it's either Final Fantasy 14 or this game. I really like this game because of how chill it is. Like, exploring around and doing shit is a lot of fun. Final Fantasy 14 doesn't have as much, like, exploration. Its exploration mostly hinges around, like, when a new expansion comes out, and you're, like, doing the story. Thanks. Final Fantasy is all about, like, the story, and, like, it's an MMO, so it's, like, there are its grinds. And so, like, there are the kind of grinds you can do to be like, yeah, sure, I'll just do this grind as kind of like a way to kill time. But so it's like, it's a game it is a go-to for that. But for this game, especially when there's a new patch, there's all this new shit to explore, and I do like the exploration aspects of this game. Like, that whole thing in the background back there is something I can explore. It's this entire region, so I can see it there, and I can go over and explore and collect all this shit. So it's a lot of fun. I do like it when there's a new patch, especially when there's a new zone. I like the story of the game too, but it is nice when there's a new zone to explore and you can wander around and take your time to. Is this the guy? Take your time to explore, and I find exploring pretty chill. So I like this. Yeah. Yeah, I like the story of this game. I think it's pretty interesting. The Natlan story especially was really, really cool. There's a lot of lore bombs with the Abyss. We've had only like bits and pieces of learning about the Abyss, so now it's kind of like a heavy Abyss episode. Is it down? Oh, it's higher. Oh, I see it's there. So I have been enjoying this. Oh, I see. It's this thing for some reason. Oh, I see. We gotta summon this and go somewhere. Oh, I see. We just need to get any Kukusar. We didn't need a. Okay. Where the fuck is he? So yeah, I've been enjoying this game a lot. But like this, it's only so much so as like there is something to play. It's not always the case. Like once I finish exploring this patch, then it's like, it's just doing the regular grinds and shit, which I don't mind doing. Like it's relatively easy to do. But I think like the one thing I like the most about this game is the exploration. Is like how cool everything looks, how fun it is to like explore and climb and gather all the collectibles. Honkai Star Rail has also a little bit of exploration, but not really that much. I would say what I like more about Honkai Star, I like actually Honkai Star Rail's story more. Honkai Star Rail's story is a lot more interesting because it's like really out there. Like this is a high fantasy game for the most part. So, maybe not even high fantasy. It's just like, well, no, it's high fantasy because essentially visions act as magic. So it's like this is like a high fantasy game, so it kind of stays within a high fantasy kind of framework. Whereas Honkai Star Rail, because it's set in space, and all this shit happens. It's like just, it can get crazier and sillier and more, it has a lot of, it can get kind of out there. So I like the story of that more, but the exploration is like terrible. Like, you just blast through the story and you're kind of like done. And you can like, if a patch comes out, the story might take a while. The story might take a few hours, but like, the story for both games take about the same amount of time. But Genshin also has the additional like zones to explore. And but yeah, so I would say like minute for minute, I probably enjoy playing Honkai Star Rail more, but I can get more minutes of play out of this game. For Genshin, I mean, I'd say for Genshin, my favorite character right now is probably Shilinen, because she is so ridiculously hot. He has little ocelot ears and a tail, which look adorable. And then she is just so insanely hot. And like her kit. And she's just really, really powerful and useful as a support. Even as a DPS, kinda. And then Honkai Star Rail, probably Acheron, because Acheron is also equally hot and powerful. Although Fei Xiao is also really cool too. I've been using her a lot in follow-up teams, and she's been really, really helpful. Yeah. That's why, like, in Genshin, pretty much the only characters I don't have are guys. Now, that used to be 100% the case. The badass. I mean, I guess the baddest ass would probably be Capitano from the Harbingers. He was pretty damn cool when he was fighting Mavica. But he's obviously an enemy. Maybe we might get him as a playable character. Hard to say. We did kind of get somewhat of an accord, so we might get him. It's hard to say because so far we're kind of like 2 for 2 or 2 for 4 on Harbingers. We got Child, we got Wanderer, who are Harbingers as playable characters, but we didn't get Signora or Doctore so far. Well, Signora is probably never because she's dead, but Doctore, I would doubt we'd ever get him as a playable character. So we've met. Well, Capitano is the 5th, but we've met 4 Harbingers before Capitano, and only 2 of them have become playable characters. So hard to say. But like Riot's Lee is also pretty cool. Nuvolet is pretty cool too in their own ways. But I would say like my favorite characters are the women because they're hot. So I like Raiden, Shilinen, Ayaka's cute. Clorinde is really hot. Navia is pretty. I like them. Shit. Is it a low roll or top? Let's tap ahead. And I chose the wrong one. Shingling? Shingling? Who's that? Maybe your translation is off. What element are they? Are they 4-star, 5-star? No, I might be able to guess who you're talking about. Maybe 4-star. I don't know. I don't know of a Shingling. Or anything that sounds like that. So without an element, I probably can't help. I don't know who you're talking about.
いや、お前はドゥアルテじゃない。あれ、なんで俺こんなところにいるんだ。お前たちは。あとか。イスカリ。一体どうなってる。
Yeah, because the names of the characters are different depending on what your version you're playing. Like, for instance, Ning Guang. It's called Ning Guang in English, but if you actually listen to the Japanese dialogue, I think they call her Ryoko. So, like, the names are also localized. So, Jingling might be the Chinese name, perhaps, but I have no clue who it is based on the Chinese name, because obviously I'm playing it in English and listening to it in Japanese. But I also refer to them all by their English names, because I can't always hear what they say in Japanese. It's like right now I can barely hear the volume of the game because I'm on my treadmill walking while I do all this. Yeah, that's why I asked for the element first, because I asked for the element and the star, and the element was far more useful. That's why I asked for that first, and then the star rating, because the element narrows it down far more than the actual character. So I hear the characters. If I knew the element, that would narrow it down, and then we could figure out, and then narrow it down even further. Now, it sounds like it's probably a female, but there's like 60 characters, so it's like the element could narrow it down by 1/7. The star rating can narrow it down by 1/2. So they're great. It's a 4-star. Cool. Now I only have to think about 20 of the characters. Whereas if you gave me an element, I would only have to think about 5 to 10.
そうだ。心配するな。よかった。
Yeah, but I mean, you say that, but if you can't even say, I've asked for the element multiple times. If you can't even say the element and you don't even know their star rating, then do you really actually like them? If you can't say you can't even describe them, or you don't even know the core aspects of their character. Like a hot character, yeah, no shit, all the characters are hot. Like, this is a gacha game. Of course they're going to make all their characters attractive. Now, you could, say, oh, well, obviously you're not going to include the lowly characters like Klee. Sure, of course, Klee's not hot. Ian-san's not hot. But, there's only, 5 lowly characters, so it doesn't really exclude a lot of them. Okay, but, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it. I got a nice little walk in, but I gotta go take a break for now, shower off and get something to eat. But that was, well, mostly fun. Obviously, that sucks when you get a co-op when you get someone who joins the co-op mode but doesn't want to be cooperative. But it is what it is. The story seemed interesting. I'm curious how it's going to shake out. So far, it's at the very, very beginning part of the interlude, so we don't really know much. We just know that there are some people who have been affected, presumably by the abyss, but it's definitely interesting because they're all saying that, oh, they're underwater, which I'm like, huh, what does that even mean, right? So, either way, I'll be, probably, I don't know, I might log into later today, play more of it. I might play more. I might try to blast through the interlude because, because I didn't do the interlude, I wasn't able to do this quest, so I might want to just do the interlude, get that shit out of the way. Oh, I mean, I know Final Fantasy 14 is going to go in maintenance at 7 p.m., so I might as well just pop in and play Genshin at that time. Maybe finish the interlude. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.